You're watching Morning Live Sport. Thanks so much for tuning in. And we're talking about football in this hour. The fight for the spot in the Betway Premiership is currently underway, with Casric Stars set to host Orbit College in the playoffs later today at the Solomon Mahlangu Stadium. All three teams that are currently in the playoffs have so far played to draws and are sitting with 2 points each. So for more about this, we're joined by Soccer Laduma senior reporter Tshepang Mailwane. Good morning, Tshepang. Thanks so much for joining us. It hasn't been a goal fest, unfortunately. It's an important round-robin tournament, a mini league for these teams. What have you made of it thus far?
Yeah, good morning, Stacey. It's been a very interesting start, and I'm not actually surprised that it's gone the way it's gone, because most of the time when these playoffs come, it's teams that have gone through a whole season of football, and it's just been draining at times. And the season that we've had in the PSL has also been very challenging for this team. So it comes at a time where, there's fatigue, there's all of these things that have played a role. And now you have to go an extra few games to try and get your way into the PSL or to survive in the case of Cape Town City. So the results I'm seeing are not surprising, but I feel that these teams should be taking advantage of the situation that they're in at the moment, especially a team like Casric Stars. I felt that the other day, playing at home and looking at the good home record they had throughout the season, I felt that they could have gotten a result against Cape Town City, but they needed that last-minute goal to get a point. So I'm just hoping that in the second round of these playoffs, because we've finished the first round, that at least we'll start seeing more goals and victories.
Some of the analysis that I was looking at online were that Casric Stars have obviously been playing more of an aggressive attacking style. Maybe Cape Town City are relying on too much of a solid midfield, and, it's contrasted there, but Orbit have relied on defence. Do you agree with that, or what have you made of their tactical differences?
Yeah, at times I felt that there's been a cautious approach from a lot of the teams, because maybe you're trying to, make sure that you don't lose. And sometimes when you make sure that you don't lose, you don't always produce the best type of football. We always used to see this, like in the Soweto derby, for example. They tell you that the teams are not playing to lose, which means that maybe they're going for a draw at times, especially when you play away from home. You get teams that are trying to ensure that they at least get a point and hopefully that they get a win at home. But I feel that at times you should just play your normal game, because that's what you've done throughout the season. And at times, in the case of Casric, for example, it's helped you to finish in the playoffs, in a playoff position. So they're playing at home today, for example, against Orbit, and they should play the normal attacking football that they used to. They should have a serious go at Orbit and make sure that they get the 3 points. I think this is, if I'm not mistaken, their last game at home, and if not, there'll still be one more. But you should take advantage of your games at home, because they drew against Cape Town City the other day. But try and win this one today and put yourself at the top of the table. Maybe the good thing is that in the regular season they didn't lose to Orbit, so maybe they'll have that psychological advantage. They beat Orbit at home, they drew away, so they've got an unbeaten record against Orbit. But Orbit are also very good defensively. I saw they've conceded 19 out of the 30 games. So they're not easily breakable at the back.
Yeah, not easily beaten, but you actually bring me to my next question in terms of the mentality. There's a lot to play for. They want to be promoted and play in the Betway Premiership. Do you think they're ready for top-flight football mentally? And there's also some financial implications for the club as well, right? A team might be fighting to play in top-flight football without understanding the wider ramifications of what it means to play there.
Yeah, there's a whole lot that happens when you get promoted. Obviously, some players now want improved contracts. The traveling costs maybe would be more. But obviously, the money that you get from the PSL is more than what you get in the Motsepe Foundation Championship. And maybe that will help a bit. And maybe being in the top flight will help you attract a bit more sponsors. Some clubs have managed to get sponsors when they're promoted. Others have struggled for years on years without having a sponsor. And that's one of the challenges you'll get when you get promoted, because the costs are higher. Players want better contracts. And obviously, you're going to sign better players because you want to survive. So being there, yes, there's opportunities to get more money in terms of sponsorship, but it costs more if you don't get that sponsorships or those sponsorships. So they need to whoever's in charge of any team that gets promoted must always think of this when they buy a club. You must always try and prepare yourself and find ways to bring in revenue into your team, because we've seen far too many teams over the last few years being sold because at some point the chairman or the people who own the club feel that we can't afford it anymore, so let's sell. So
and they just don't
they have to be
that
mentally
support.
prepared for this.
Yeah. So
Yes,
I've
you
run
have
out
to
of
be
time.
mentally
I've got to let you
prepared.
go, but you were in the US. So just a quick question about Sundowns and that game that's coming up later today, and just your thoughts. And also, having been in the US, quickly wrap it up for us.
Yeah, it was a great experience. Obviously, would have loved to be there a bit longer, but I'm one who appreciates everything, and I was happy with the time there. For Sundowns, it's a big one, and we can't even rule out a good result, because I've watched teams like from Brazil getting good results against European teams, and who says the Sundowns can't go out there and get a good result against Borussia Dortmund? It's been a long season for everyone. So I think Sundowns should just try and take advantage, and that win in the first game gives them that confidence.
Well, Tshepang, thank you so much for joining us. It was great chatting to you. We'll bring you back as this FIFA Club World Cup tournament progresses as well, especially with you having been there. We were just talking about it off air now, in that it's being played in the US, and these clubs and these teams are traveling across the US from East Coast to West Coast, which also has an implication on fatigue. But we were also discussing the current PSL playoffs, Cape Town City, Casric Stars and Orbit College as well.